Chosen One!
Welcome to The Chosen One. I am your host, Qui-Gon Din, and I am joined by HailCthulu as we are going over Dragonflight GameCon, the Evergreen Open. This is our first GT in Washington State for us, and we're just going to be going over some of our list choices and what we're kind of expecting into the event. I guess, are you excited for your first event?
Yeah. Excited and nervous, I guess.
Well, you're not bringing like standard medalists, so yeah.
No.
So going into lists, I guess we are going to go over mine. I am bringing a pretty standard meta list. My mission is First Contact, and I am dropping Mace Windu, Pawns, and Wolfpack with Kiada Mundai Shakti and 501st. And then I am dropping Jin with Luke, Baze, and Turret with Andor, K2SO, and Rebel Commandos. I figured I'd go with what I'm comfortable with, which is Mace Mundi. I used to run Crosshair, but I dropped them for Wolfpack. Did a couple tests with Wolfpack. Wolfpack just provide a little bit better support than running 3 cost supports when I only want one of those in Republic. And then Jin Andor is just standard fare. But nothing too crazy on my end. Probably going to be playing Jin Andor most of the tournament, but if I face off against a Kanan list, I'm probably dropping Mace into that more than likely, and that's just because the displacement.
Yeah, them Wolfpacks getting condition stacked by a support really sucks.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, they shove out. With their Wolfpack ability and the forward deployment, they're very easily able to get in a melee, and they're constantly dishing out pins, strains, and disarms, and doing that to units. And this is basically off their 9-die attack. They're going to do that. And that's with the other attack being a 7-die range attack, because you're probably going to on the first attack, shove the character you're attacking out of range of melee. Very, very, very good support. I've been liking them a lot. And Pawns just shores up my deployment. So if I end up getting put on like Never Tell Me or anything like that, Pawns allows me to set up in a way so where I'm not at a disadvantage with the Mace list. Plus, a lot of movement, and Kiada Mundai is still one of the best pieces in the game with Shakti. So pretty basic list. I'm not expecting anything too crazy. I should do pretty well with this. I'm taking First Contact, probably to the begrudging dismay of several players at the event, but I feel that I am comfortable enough. I play that map more than any of the others, and I really like Mace Windu's advantage on that map, and then Jin getting access to extra force is huge.
Yeah, being able to get that 2 extra force on Struggle 1 is pretty good.
Yeah, 5 force list, but it works. But yeah, that's my basic list. It's a 2x2. Nothing's going to be too crazy about it. The crazier person here is HailCthulu, and tell us about your list.
Well, I'll go over the Ripped Hampson one. It's basic Ripped Hampson. I was kind of meddling over whether I take Kalani B1s or Kraken B2s. And I think we decided that like the Kraken B2s is the better option just for more survivability. And Kraken's tactic is a lot better, in my opinion. It's more consistent throughout the entire game. Kalani's is really good, like a turn 1 or turn 2 pick, because you got to move your whole board. But after that, things start getting out of the way. So we went with Kraken, and Rip is a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun playing him. I think he's going to be my sabotage pick, because my other list is going to be Vader, Thrawn, all Stormtroopers, and it is a very fast, very killy list. Well, Vader is very killy. Vader can be in your back line turn 1, and it's awesome. It like I have so much fun like making that list and coming up with it.
It's very mobile, and we got to talk about snowtroopers here a little bit. Playing against these guys in this particular list, they are stupid tanky with how easy they can heal up, and they're
Oh yeah, when I came up with this list, Qui-Gon did was making fun of me about putting snowtroopers and was telling me to do the ISB, and I was like, no, the snowtroopers will be the best piece in the game in the box.
and it's actually they're not, their activation is kind of subpar. They do a little bit of chip damage, but they get a lot of heals, and if you don't one shot them, you kind of have to sink a lot of attacks into them.
Oh yeah, so the strategy with the list is Vader just goes around killing everything, and your other pieces just stay alive. Well, Vader and DTE goes around killing stuff.
Yep, it's a very much hold the points kind of mobility. It's a scoring list. Vader is there to stop problematic parts. He's taking shifting.
Yeah, I'm taking shifting because its weakness is sabotage because I'm funneled to the sides, which is why I'm taking the Rift Hampson list. But it shines on every other map. Like you just send Vader after your problem pieces, and it's pretty easy for you to get him where he needs to go.
Yep, Thrawn's ability to position characters off of putting them in tactics or putting them in reserve is very, very strong. Don't sleep on Thrawn Vader. It's a really, really tricky list if you don't know what you're doing against it. So definitely both your lists are more off the cuff. I think Rift Hampson Grievous is something we'll see a few players take because it is the new hotness kind of thing. It's the new list.
Yeah.
I think Rift Hampton's going to be a sleeping giant. I think he might not have the most impact right off the bat, but there's definitely something there with him. And if the Separatists just get another release or two, I think Rift is going to be in a
in our test games, he's been doing really well against Republic and not very good against the Rebels. But I think you need to pick your opponents pretty well with Rift. I don't think he can just be thrown into any matchup.
Yeah, the list is kind of a glass cannon type trick, but it can position really well and it can play the aggression game. Rift Hampson is a late game killer where he goes into the late game, he will start killing stuff. Early game, he's doing more support with the heals and throwing knives at people in the early game. Heal up some of your conditions in our test game. I tried conditioning stacking you, and you actually were able to use Rift to clear a bunch of conditions.
Yeah, it felt nice playing Separatists that can finally heal conditions off of stuff. And they still get conditions stacked like before, but now it's a little easier to manage it.
And I think the other reason why we kind of landed on B2s is if you pull them early, they can at least still alpha strike because of their big bases, and they have a movement ability on their tree or on their card. They can dash before attacking.
Yeah, the B1s have a problem getting to a point if they're your turn 1 activation because nobody's on the point to attack to get the reposition. So it makes it a little hard for them to get up. And having a 5-force list, reserving isn't your first option. Sometimes you just have to go with what you got.
There is some interesting reserve mechanics going on there, though, with the Aqua Tag stuff, though.
Yeah, the Aqua Droids and
Nasserai
being able to kind of quote-unquote stack your deck is pretty nice.
Like, because you pulled them early, you you pulled Nasserai first in our game, and then you like put them in reserve right away, and then like Aqua Droids, Aqua Droids could do kind of something here, but they have the ability to do the Obi-Wan trick, and it's free. So you put Nasserai back in the bottom, so Nasserai is locked in at the bottom of your deck, and you just save the Aqua Droids for when you really need them, and Those are huge advantage.
Yeah, Nasuri he is probably the thing that'll get me to lose the game. I think he has such a bad activation, and I've probably attacked with him like 6 times now, and I one attack had got one result through. So he's definitely kind of a back point sitter, and you kind of, at least in my experience, he moves in hunkers.
Yeah,
He's Stormtrooper Sergeant before Sergeant got Stormtroopers to use.
yeah. You if you attack with him like pawns, you choose supports to attack, and that he feels good attacking into supports, but that's about the only thing he feels good attacking.
Speaking of Sergeant, I love him now. Like him with 3 other Stormtroopers and being able to make like a 9-die attack from your spawn is pretty fun.
Yeah, he actually gets down his tree.
Yeah, he gets down his tree with that coordinate offense, and it's pretty nice. I like, and DTE throwing like 11 dice off of the coordinate offense is really fun too. Like the whole Stormtrooper synergy, I'm really liking.
Give us Scout Trooper so Aiden can play with Stormtrooper synergies.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, no, I think the list is going to be fairly solid. In terms of like the layout, I think it is shifting is definitely a safe bet. I knew you were talking about first contact before.
Yeah, I was gonna do first contact originally, but I don't want to go into dice down rules too much, and I don't want to. I'd rather not potentially get ties. So I figured shifting everybody knows it. Everybody knows how to make a play on shifting. So it's not gonna like there's not as much experience on first contact, so you gotta think of your plays on it and what you're gonna do next. And if someone has only played like a couple games on it, it's gonna take them a while to make their plays. So I don't want with the time constraints. And even with first contact, like you're basically you win turn 1 or you lose.
Struggle 1 on first contact is super long. It's the same on sabotage. So
yeah.
On my end, I was picking sabotage or first contact, and I'm leaning first contact just because Mace has more advantages on first contact compared to sabotage. In my particular experience, Mace Mundi on sabotage has been kind of weird for me. It works, but at the same time, the positioning power is like it's kind of a pain having to rotate around the board. Struggle 1. And
sabotage is my most hated map. It is not fun for me.
I think it's fun when we're playing like actual Achilles Saber lists, but that's about it.
Yeah, when you're playing like both guys are playing attrition, it's just chaos. That's pretty fun, but like it's too annoying for me, in my opinion. First contact's my favorite mission. Like the amount of like movement, what's it called?
The clever ploys.
The clever ploys. I lost a game. We were playing a game that I pulled Shatterpoint, and Qui-Gon used the clever ploy against me and moved his.
I think it was Luke.
Yeah, he moved Luke onto the back point, onto a point to score it, and it ruined the game for me, and it was an instant loss. Like there's so much about first contact that can go your way, or like do a 180 on you and just ruin your time.
It gets stupid when you add in Mace Windu's Shatterpoint ability, because you get, if you're using Vapad and you get that clever and you pull Shatterpoint and you have that clever ploy that gets you, I'm going to reposition a primary. Clever ploy happens before the Shatterpoint ability on Mace Windu's card, so you can reposition Mace Windu into a spot to where that Vapad
dash and a 5-die.
5-die attack, spend 3/4, turns to an 8-die attack, and now Mace kills something on a Shatterpoint activation where you get to activate like Mundi and do other like combo plays. There's a lot with Mace on first contact, and even on like sabotage. Mace has a play on sabotage. If you turn 1 Shatterpoint and you get the Shatterpoint dash, Mace is in your opening deployment line.
Okay, first contact opens up so many lists that were not possible. Just off of getting extra movement, getting more force, putting people in reserve, like that. The amount of like variety that map gives for lists is awesome. I love it. Like I felt we found, at least my opinion, like you kind of need a mobile and attrition list, that like a mix between those two to really do well on that map.
Yeah, a lot of movement. A lot of you need advances or double dashes type plays to really key in. That's why Mundi does really well on that map, because Mundi has a tactic, and then he can kill someone and then move that Jedi that you just moved up further down the board. It's kind. First Contact is kind of like a combination of Sabotage Showdown and Never Tell Me the Odds. It's the layout is kind of a giant death donut, but the point flipping is a little bit more variable and it's not as chaotic.
Well, it's honestly not. Like, you look at the board and there's like what, 12 points on it or 11 points on it.
I think there's 13. So you have one center point, and then it's basically.
Yeah, maybe it is 13, I think. Yeah, and like you look at it, it looks chaotic. Like all these points can turn on, but it's really like, if you look at the cards, it's really simple. Like one of them, it's just one side of the board turns on, or the other side of the board turns on.
That one's particularly brutal.
Yeah.
But you get a ton of areas where the center turns on. So I'm definitely in on the First Contact train. I've made my decision. I've been list waffling pretty hard with my list, with my like secondary list of what I want to take. Spoiler alert, I ordered Delta Squad from the UK to try and get it here in time, just to run it at this event, because this will be the first event in the stateside that will be legal for it. It's stuck like 50 miles outside of Spokane. And list registration is the Wednesday, and today's Wednesday at the time of recording. So I'm not locked in with Delta Squad. I fell back to Mace Mundi because that was my original choice, but I tried to play that Delta Squad box.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Like coming in with the new box, and that would have been exciting to see.
Yeah, I would have been doing Mace boss. My Mace squad doesn't change, and it's just Delta box. I find that you with the extra force and everything, you want the setup. But yeah, no. What do you think's gonna do well at the event?
I think Rebels are gonna be a thing, and I think a form of Mundi is gonna be a thing, and some Inquisitor, Grand Inquisitor.
I'm expecting a crap ton of Rebels. I'm expecting a crap ton of Cassian, specifically because Baze and Shurd are out.
Yep, I think. I don't know. I think it's a lot of preference. Like the meta right now, it's really play what you like. I mean, there isn't a whole lot of lists that are just turned like.
Yeah, the prepping for GT right now is so hard because of how many lists you can play. You got Obi-Wan variants, you got Ewoks, you got like 3 different versions of Rebels, you got freaking like 8 different versions of Republic you can play. You got Inquisitor variants, you got Inquisitor anchor lists. There's so much stuff that you can do, and it makes everything a little bit rough for prepping for an actual event. The format hasn't really been solved. I think if there is a list to beat, it's probably going to be an Andor variant. And that's just because Baze and Shurd are that much of a monster on the table. I think they're the ones kind of pushing the limits. But I don't think it's not Iden like it was before the balance pass.
I don't know. I think they feel a little OP in certain, like Andor kind of makes them feel a little OP, but like them and other lists outside of Andor, they're good, but they're not OP. Andor kind of just opens up a lot of list building for that era, and it's kind of fun.
It is. Like we see Andor Cat being played. We see Andor Moff Gideon, to your chagrin. Why you'd ever play that, I don't know, but it's a list that works. There's a lot of open-ended list building. Baze and Shuri, I'm expecting them to be the most played support. I think the lists are going to play them just to play them.
I really like this meta. Being able to like play basically whatever you want, because right now, like, a lot of lists are close to 50-50, maybe a 45-55, but oh, now I lost what I was gonna say.
I think the two. Well, I think.
Yeah, I'm liking it because you can play basically if you're good with the list and you know its shortfalls and it's what it's good against. Like, you can do really well with the list you like. Like, you don't have to just play Vader Iden, you don't, or Kanan to counter Vader Iden. Like, it's not a like you either bring this or you lose kind of stuff. Like, you can pick whatever you want as long as you know the list and you're good with it. You can do well with it.
And that's the idea. I'm on the train of back to some of my other advice. Play what you want, but be comfortable with it. It's the biggest piece of advice that I will ever give to anyone. Don't play a meta list just because it's a strong meta list. I locked in Jin the second they revealed her card. She was locked in for this event for like 6 months. Like, I wanted, as soon as I saw Baze and Churret at Adepticons reveals, I was looking forward to putting them on the table.
Yeah. As soon as that Debbie's like, I'm gonna take Baze and Churret. Whatever Jin does, I don't care. I'm taking Baze and Churret.
Yes, like that unit, and I'm so happy with how they turned out. Gonna be a little scary with some pairings. Andor is going to be a very tough list to beat. It is new, and Andor with like an aggressive primary like Jin or Kanan, it's tough because the meta really hasn't seen an attrition revenge list in its inception, so it's very new.
Jin makes things a little difficult because before Andor wasn't that big of a problem. Like, he's good, don't get me wrong, but like you could play around him a little bit. Like, you either just don't, he kind of like that Kanan stuff, you just don't, you pick your kills. But now with Iden's box, they're killing you regardless of whether or not you're killing them. So it kind of puts you in a little bit of a conundrum of how to manage it.
Yeah, Jin is a tough cookie because I think some people were underrating her at the beginning. They go, she's just a kind of interesting mobile primary. No, she stacks up kills pretty consistently with her play patterns. You start her on that melee side with that one expertise on your gun gets you a crit and a hit to a crit on 1 to 2. That off that 5-die attack.
Well, like, I mean, even if she's not killing the amount of attacks, like, she gives, like, other primaries might give an extra attack, but like her identity, or not her identity, her tactic where she gives an attack to a support or herself, like, that's two sides of the board you can affect. Like, you're weakening down your opponent, even just 5-die attacks to allow another activation to kill that unit. Like, maybe that unit wouldn't have been able to get a wound on somebody, and now since she 5-die attacked that unit, now that unit can wound that person.
Yeah, it also sets her up. She can go 2 results, gets her 3 damage and an expose on her melee side. And off the 5-die attack, you're hitting that 90% of the time. As long as you roll a hit and an expertise, you are probably going 2 down your tree because that turns to 2 crits.
Yeah.
And if you throw a crit in there with it, you start going 3 down your tree. She's really aggressive and she's mobile and she's not force costly at all. Even if you wound her, she's only spending 1 force to dash, so she's still gonna just do what she wants to do. Very strong. She's not the tankiest. Kind of have to watch her. Kind of have to watch her around Anakin to a point, but the list has so much revenge options with K2SO. I think it's really
Yeah, I think that's her downfall is her defense expertise is not very good. So if you really wanted her dead, you could easily do it.
you kind of need to kill her too, because if you don't, she's just going to start healing it off.
Yeah, her heal off momentum is pretty strong.
And that's the other reason why First Contact is so big for her. You're going to go into mission critical with First Contact. And when the momentum starts piling up, that's a heal every turn. Every time your opponent gains that momentum for mission critical, you get your recover too. So there is a world where Jin becomes a mega healer, and
Oh yeah, she kind of rubs dirt in your face too, because if you're playing her and you're like beating your opponent so bad they can't get the momentum, the struggle tracker back to their side, and they gain a momentum because they can't get it off their side.
yeah,
Then you're just healing it, and it's kind of like rubbing it in your face, like, look at me, I'm winning so much.
it's so good. Like I am predicting I'm going to end up playing Jin more than Mace in this event. I could be wrong. In a world, if I'm wrong, I'm okay with it because it means I'm playing Mace. Mace has been my favorite primary for a while, but playing Jin, she's kind of my new favorite piece in the game right now. She's a lot of fun. Spoiler, I do not like Andor and his playstyle near as much, but Jin makes up for it in spades, and it's a really, really fun way to play the list. Andor is just really freaking boring.
I don't like it. And Andor, I've only been pissed off once in this game, and it's Andor.
The bomb.
The bombs. And it's not that his bombs are bad. They're very good. But when you have Veers, which his whole identity is based on blowing up points, and it's not even a fraction as good as Andor's, it's a little irritating.
Yeah, Veers is I'm expecting an update for Veers. I'm expecting an update for Crosshair. Both those primaries are kind of in the gutter. Rift right now on Longshanks is a very poor win rate, but I think Rift is. I don't think it's Rift's fault. I think it's the lack of separatist options still. The Rift is a very good injunction into separatists. I've played against him enough now to realize he is a threat on the board. He's very, very good if you play him right, but I think he's a lot like Krennic. You gotta really play him right. And Krennic started off like at the bottom of the list as well, and now he's kind of floating around that 44-45% win rate. That's after I see Rift's some play and people figuring him out. I expect Rift's play rate to rise a bit. It just doesn't help that separatists are still in a kind of rough spot.
They need more releases. They need they have what, 3 releases now?
Yeah, you got the core set stuff.
Core set and 3 releases.
Yeah. They need 1 or 2 more boxes, and the world's their oyster.
I know. Give me some destroyer droids and assassin droids.
Like commando droids. Yeah, the commando droids would be nice. Give us some Geonosians. Like now that Rift has this Aquatag type synergy stuff where you can give just separatists extra dice instead of it having to be droids. A Geonosian box could be just what the separatists need to open things up.
Yeah. I wonder if there would be a way to do like the zombie Geonosian.
Well, we're getting zombie stormtroopers, so it's definitely a possibility. But no, I have a hunch we're gonna get more separatist stuff next year. I think Republic stuff is gonna be put on the back burner for a little bit because Republic has had a ton of releases in these past couple waves.
Yeah, and I think Delta's gonna really set them up to be the top tier. Delta's really fun.
Republic is already, we haven't talked a whole lot about on the Republic frame for the event, but I think there's going to be a lot of Republic. Right now, Republic is really popular because they're finally, a lot of people wanted to play Republic, and now Republic's in a spot where they're finally contending for best weapon.
You got Anakin, you got Mace, you got
Mundi.
even Plo Koon. Plo Koon and Mundi's pretty fun. You got Obi-Wan, blasted Obi-Wan, and
Yeah, Obi-Wan's good.
All their primaries are majority of them. They're really good. Are really shining right now.
Yeah, and I think that's the glow up the clones. I think the supports. I think them making the Empire stuff a little less killy, making the clones a little bit more tanky, I think is a big help to the game. I think Dathomirians are gonna see a lot more resurgence once we get that Morgan Elspeth box. It's not that none of the Dathomirian units are bad. Like Mother's really good. She needs a slight tweak with her tactic, but
I would have liked to have seen them give her movement off of her own tactic.
I think that's the only thing you need to do for her, and she'd be good. You make her healing thing an innate, like how you made the tempered aggression on Mace an innate, and then you make it so she can move herself off of her tactic, and she is a perfectly serviceable primary that will see go back to being competitive play. And then you just fix Savage by giving him a freaking shove. That's what you do to Savage when you fix him.
He needs something. Like, he's pretty good if he gets them heals off of Talzins. He's a lot tankier, but then you're not able to.
His problem is he either needs to kill something or he doesn't take a point, and that's why he needs shoves. Give him a couple shoves on a street and he's fixed. If he had shoves, that solves a big issue.
I am excited for zombie stormtroopers. I think that's gonna be awesome.
I'm super excited for Phelan Skull. I'm saying it now. You can quote me on this down the line. For Adepticon, Balin is locked in. I'm gonna play him no matter what he does. I will make a list with him work. I am super excited about that box. And
I'm hoping they flesh out that area a little more, because isn't only the Mandalorians are in that.
The Mandalorians, the one Imperial box, Moff Gideon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The bounty hunters are also in that era for the Grief Karga, Mando, and IG-11. But yeah,
so maybe they do have more than I was thinking.
Yeah, but Reign of Empire and New Republic need more enhancements. Hopefully we get Cal Kestis. That'd be cool.
I would love that.
I think Mini Extrav is going to be we are going to do an episode on Mini Extrav in November when it comes up. I think that's going to be a pretty important reveals panel because we don't know what's coming out next year. All we know is that we're getting Morgan Elspeth and Balin Skull. So Mini Extrav is going to be very good for the updated release timeline.
That would be my dream. Would be getting a Cal Kestis box and then the Inquisitor box from the game.
Give us Trilla. Give us some Purge Troopers.
Purge Troopers. Yeah. That'd be my favorite thing.
Make Trilla 9 points just so that way, and make the secondary 5. That way you can slot in Vader if you want. That way you get another spot for Inquisitor secondary Vader.
Yeah, give Empire a little more variety and leadership outside of being a 7-point leader.
Yeah. Krennic's cool.
I love Krennic.
Krennic was almost on your list to take to the event.
He was, but he requires so much manpower. I don't think I could play him more than one one game.
Yeah. He's very good if you play him specifically right, but there is a lot of dominoes in his list that if one thing happens, you start getting a snowball effect where you get into an unwinnable game state.
Well, that goes the other way because he can create that unwinnable game state for your opponent.
Yeah, and there's too many chinks in that list armor to where trying to play it 4 rounds in a row would be rough.
It's too much for my little pea brain. I like move character up, smack him with a lightsaber.
Yep, and we got Grievous for that. I think it's a pretty good spot. I'm expecting a lot of Rebels. I'm expecting some Empire, and I'm expecting a lot of Republic. I think Republic and Rebels will be the most represented tags. I do know there's at least 3 of you guys running Separatist, because Sin's running Separatist. I think another guy is taking Riff, and I know you're taking it. So hopefully Riff does well at this event. I'd like to see Riff in the top. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I ain't going to lose, I'll tell you that.
Like, no, play the best you can. It's your first event, so like it'll be interesting. We'll finally get you a player rating on Longshanks, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll be number 1. Undefeated.
We will find out. This is going to be a pretty good event, and this has been Qui-Gon Din on The Chosen One. And we will keep you guys posted at Adepticon. Well, not at Adepticon, at Dragonflight GameCon. Peace. Thank you for watching this episode of The Chosen One, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. If you want to catch the next video, you can watch the one linked above, or you can just go and listen to the podcast on the playlist below. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for your support.